This class is just checklists. We're going to go through kind of a lot of different things within checklists. It can be a bit bulky, so we just want to try to break a few different things down as far as templates, assigning people to checklist, and some automation features that we also have. The agenda will kind of go like this. There'll be a few things in between as well, but we'll just kind of give an overview of checklists, talk about the difference between checklists and tasks, assigning checklists to people, assigning a checklist, a section, or a field, how to create and complete a checklist. There's a few different ways how to do that. So we'll go over our three different options. We're going to go over templates. So for our premium and elite tiers, where you can kind of create those templates, where they're stored and how to use them. And then one of our AI features, so how to turn a walkthrough into a checklist. All right, let me switch over to the screens that really matter. All right, we're in CompanyCam now. So we're just kind of gonna go over a few different things before we get started. And just kind of intro the differences with checklists. And we also have a feature called tasks as well. Something that we do want to note as far as checklists go is they're located in a few different places as far as the mobile and the web. Our mobile just got a remodel, and so checklists really belong in this to-do bucket here. You'll see it's a little blue to-do bucket, and that's where those checklists are going to live. As far as the web, you'll see your little checklist feature here when you're in a project, and that's where checklists are as far as the web app goes. So you'll see these are very similar on both sides, but you'll have checklists on the web, and then it's in to-dos, and then you'll see checklists here. So just wanted to kind of go over that first, because I know it looks a little different as far as the web app goes, and the mobile. The next thing that I'll go over is just kind of what checklists are. So a lot of people in different industries will call them punch list, instructions, SOPs. This is just a standardized list of things that need to get done. That's essentially what a checklist is. So I know you guys call it a few different things, but just wanted to kind of give you the gist there. As far as the app goes, it is in that to-dos buckets. You'll see checklists and tasks. And so I first want to kind of go over the difference there. You'll see checklists on the web app here. And then if we open our sidebar, we'll see tasks here. Checklists and tasks are different. So tasks are going to be more one-off things that need to be completed. You don't have the ability to add photos to those task fields, but you'll just be able to kind of assign people to them. Think of it as just kind of like a one and done thing. Checklist, like I mentioned, is going to be more of your standardized list of items that need to be completed. So just kind of wanted to go over the difference between tasks and checklist and kind of how you would use those. All right, the first thing that we're going to go into is just showing you what a detailed checklist looks like, just to show you what the possibilities are as far as checklist goes. So we're going to go into this damage inspection checklist that I have been working in, and just kind of show you all the different items that are in here. So you'll see at the top there, we have our title, we have however many fields there are. You have your assign feature, so assigning a checklist to someone. We'll go over that in a little bit. And then you have different sections, and then underneath the sections are what we call field items. So we'll see here, we have our roof condition field or section item, and then we have our flashing condition section, our supporting structure, and you'll see under those are going to be your field items, and those are the items that need to be completed. So we'll just kind of look at this roof condition one, and I'm going to go ahead and kind of complete an item here. So I have two of the items complete. And now I have a new one complete that I need to complete. So you'll see a membrane condition. You'll notice photos are required for that one. So if I try to check mark that off, I'm not able to unless I add a photo to that checklist item. So I'm going to go ahead and take a photo here. You can go ahead and tag this if you need to. So if I wanted to go ahead and tag this roof, I can go ahead and find, maybe it is a metal roof, save that tag. And then when I take this photo here, my description is going to pop up. Keep in mind these photos that you take in your checklist are going to go back to your project. So you can kind of take them just as you would normally take them within a project. You would take them the same way in a checklist. So when I take this photo, I'll have my description here. This is the membrane condition. It looks good to me. Click done. I've quickly grabbed that photo. I'm going to click done here. All right, now you should see my membrane condition photo has been added and I checked mark that off. So that's kind of how you would kind of work through a checklist and how you would complete a field in the checklist. The next thing that we're going to kind of look at is how to create those. So we're first going to look on our desktop here, and we're going to look at this checklist tag on the left-hand side. And this is where you can see all your checklists in your entire CompanyCam account. So you'll see your all, your finished, and your unfinished checklist. You can see which project they're in, who's assigned to it, and kind of the progress. It's just nice to be able to see like a full list of all of the checklists in that feed. Really, I think for the most part, people are going to work out of checklists within a project. So we're going to open up that project again, and we're going to go to our checklist here. Same thing. We're on our project on our mobile device, and we're going to go to that to-dos bucket. That's where those checklists are. And we're just going to kind of focus on how you would create that checklist. You'll notice in the bottom of the mobile app, it's that plus bar. And then on the desktop, it's going to be that plus here. The only one that is different between the mobile and the desktop is going to be from voice. So you can create a checklist natively from your voice. So the first way that we're going to kind of show you is how you would just create one from scratch on a project. So we're going to click that plus new checklist, and we're going to give that a title here. We're going to create that checklist, and we'll see that we can go ahead and start adding sections and adding field items. So your sections are kind of what the generic kind of title is going to be of that section. So we're going to do for this one, we're going to do bathroom, and then we're going to add a field under there. If we're going to replace something, we can go ahead and add different field items to ask questions of things that need to be done. You would go ahead and ask a question there. You can go ahead and add questions, yes or no, ratings, text response, or multiple choice. For that photos required, you can either check mark that on and off, depending if you need that. You'll be able to assign someone, so you can assign someone on the actual field item, or you can assign someone on the section, or up here in the entire checklist. As far as oh, I thought there was that section. And then we're going to show you how to do that same thing, but on your mobile device. So we're going to go to a blank checklist, give that a title, create that checklist, and then from here you can add those sections and new fields. So this would be really helpful if you're just trying to quickly create a checklist and want to type a few things out that you need. The next way to kind of create one, we're going to show you that on the desktop is going to be from a file. So let's say we have an SOP of all of the things that need to be completed. We're going to go to our files and upload that. I uploaded a service industry SOP. Now this is going to have a ton of things in there. It's just a PDF file that I uploaded. So think of if you have kind of like documentation, a PDF of things that you normally do. If there's like an install that you normally do, you can upload that to your file section of CompanyCam. And what's nice is when you're back into checklists, when you go to create a checklist, you can use a file. So I'm going to click use a file. It's going to bring me to that file section of my project. And when I upload this, it's going to just take AI and generate a checklist for me using that. I already did this, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that open. So from that file documentation that I have, it has this service industry SOP. You can change that title if you need to. So if we wanted to just name it something else, we can just do service industry SOP to complete. We'll save that. And it took everything from that file, created different sections, and then underneath the sections are those field items from that SOP. So it can be a really nice way to save a lot of time, and you have all of this documentation filled out, and then your team can go out and kind of build that. The last one that we're going to look at is going to be creating a checklist from your voice. Like I mentioned, that is going to be a feature that is in the app. So when we click that plus button, we'll see the blank one, we'll see the file one that we went over. We'll go over templates in just a minute, and we're going to see checklist from voice. When we click that, it just is going to pop open our voice, like our microphone, and then we can just talk into it all the things that need to be done. I'm working in an office right now, so I'm just going to kind of talk through a few things that I see that need to be completed here. We are working in one of our main office buildings today. I'm just noticing a few things that have some deficiencies. It looks like the table needs to be cleaned off. It looks like the last people in here didn't clean it off. The doors also need to be cleaned. The shades, they need to be all the way down when we leave here. I also noticed that the door was unlocked. Let's make sure to lock that. And the fridge in here, also needs to be cleaned out. You can click that pause button there, and then if you want to resume, you can click that resume button. I'm just going to click done. And what happens is using AI, it is going to generate kind of all the things I said. It gives it a title here. So we have office cleaning and security tasks. And it just broke it into two different sections. So it has me have the cleaning tasks here and the window and door security. Now, what's nice is you can also use your microphone to complete a checklist. So let's say, we just did some of these things, left some things out. I can tap my microphone down here to just go ahead and complete those items. I went ahead and cleaned off the table and the doors. All the shades are lowered. I forgot to lock the door, and the fridge was not cleaned out. There was still some stuff in there. We'll click done. It's going to take everything I said, complete those checklist items, and leave those other ones blank. So it is just a really quick, nice way to kind of complete a checklist. All right. Is there any questions so far? Awesome. Okay. One thing I do want to go over, and we're just going to pop open a checklist here, is going to be how to assign people. So you'll notice in this damage inspection checklist that I was in earlier, there's a few different options here to assign people. So at the top there, you'll have your assign. It looks like a little person with a plus, or in the app, it's that assign. And you can search for your users in your company account to assign to a checklist. That way they know that they need to complete it. Not only can you assign that main checklist, I mentioned this a little bit before, but you can assign a section to someone. And if you want someone specific to do just a field item, you can assign that field item as well. So when we're in here, we can go ahead and tap those three dots, assign that section, it's the third one down. And then if we're just in this section here, we have the ability to assign a user. While I'm in here, in the app, I do just want to mention photos required or not is just a toggle on and off. And then if you needed to add a question at all, you'll just tap that plus question and your questions populate there as well. All right, we're going to kind of talk a little bit about templates. And so one of the main spots that I want to show you templates is going to be in your web app. If you just scroll to the bottom here underneath your resources, you have your templates, and this is kind of where your template library is. So I like to point a lot of people to this to kind of build out your checklist templates. You're always able to save a template if you are in a project as well. If you have like a checklist that you wrote out, you can save it from there. But a lot of people find it helpful to build out those checklist templates in their little library in this resources tab. When you go to create a checklist template, you'll see that you're editing a template up here and you can make changes. And so this is where you can kind of document a template, save it, and use it on multiple projects. When we are in a project, to kind of use the templates, you'll just click into your checklist, click plus checklist. When you're in the app, same thing, you'll just click that plus button in your checklist. And you'll notice that checklist from template. So this is going to pull up your template libraries of all those checklists. Now I have quite a few in here. You can kind of save those in there and use that template. When I go to my demo account here, let's just pull open one of these. We'll just pull open a roofing checklist template. When we click that plus template, it just builds that out from the template that we have. So saves you a lot of time. That template will just kind of live in there. It's building it out. Once you click in there, it'll have all of those things that were on that template. Any questions on templates?
We're putting pictures in the chat if you have a questions, so we'll follow people as we get through questions.
Awesome. All right. The next thing that we are going to look at is this one can be a little tricky, but we're going to go into pages. And so we're going to show you a few different ways how to get to that walkthrough note. The walkthrough note is an AI feature, and it's super helpful. Pulls open your camera and you can start taking photos. and kind of documenting with your voice what needs to be done. That's how a lot of people will use it. It is an AI feature. You'll notice at the bottom, you'll see your camera icon. To the right of that is going to be those AI sparkles. And that's one way to get to walkthrough notes. So you'll see that top one is walkthrough notes, probably our most used AI feature. So that's going to be on our premium elite tiers. But we can also access it through our documents, and it is a pages feature. So when we click that plus page, we can go to page, and we can see that walkthrough note is that bottom one. So a couple different ways to get there. And then the other way to get there is just by clicking your camera, and you can just swipe over to that AI walkthrough note. So a few different ways to get to there. I'm really going to show this because from a walkthrough note, you can create a checklist, which is a really quick, nice way to kind of complete that. So we're going to tap those AI sparkles, and we're going to click walkthrough note. And again, I'm just in my office, so I'm going to kind of talk through a few different things that need to be complete here, and then we're going to create a checklist from that. So we're going to start this walkthrough note. We are working in the main office building today. A couple things that need to be done. This coffee cup needs to be thrown away. We make sure to turn off this screen once we're complete. This cord needs to be wrapped up. These shades back here, we need to make sure to shut those. It looks like there is a crack in this paint. Can we replace that paint? And we need to clean these carpets. You'll notice I clicked my pause button. That's really helpful on walkthrough note. If someone comes up to you, starts talking, you can kind of mute it if there's loud noises. If you need to switch where you're at, if you need to kind of move around, switch rooms, maybe switch from outside into the backyard to the front yard, you can kind of pause and then click resume. I'm going to click done here. What happens is it, again, generates everything I said, gives me a nice title, and then from there, you'll see these different sections. So we have main office cleaning, equipment shutdown, and then tasks in the back area. So it broke those down into two different sections. Now AI isn't perfect, so you may have to go in and edit those things. Feel free if you don't need a photo in there or you want to edit a bullet point, you can do so. Where I really want to show you is those top right, those three dots. And it's going to be the one that's kind of the fifth one down. And you'll notice it says create checklist. So from this walkthrough note, we can go ahead and tap that create checklist. Now what happens is it is uploading this into our to-do section. So you'll see that it's slowly generating and we'll kind of populate those field items. So we're going to go ahead and refresh here a few different times and kind of wait for that to pop through. So here it is. It is 6 field items. So when we click into that, you'll notice these are the exact same things I said on that walkthrough note. It went ahead and generated a checklist for me, broke it into those different sections, again, with those field items in there. Now, let's say if we need to dispose this coffee cup, we want proof that it was disposed. We can always click into those field items, make sure that there is a photo there. We can assign a user, add notes or instructions or questions. You can kind of edit this checklist if need be. What's nice with checklists is, let's say we have completed all of these items. We'll just take a photo here. We're going to kind of check mark all these options that we've completed them. Keep in mind, if you are like, we need to send this off, we want this to be kind of a PDF to send off once you're complete, you can tap those 3 dots in the top right and you'll be given some options here, like renaming, adding sections, reordering. I like the export to PDF. You can export this as a PDF, gives you a nice cover page, and it'll actually go to your file section. So we're going to go ahead and export that and show you what that looks like. We'll go to our files here, and we have this exported checklist. Gives you a nice cover page there with those checklist items completed. All right, last thing that I am just going to show you today is just going to be in the web. We have a new feature called project groups. It is a really nice way to kind of keep the groups or keep the projects together in different groups. What's nice in these project groups, I might have to make this a little bigger, is when you click into one of the groups, you have the ability to see how far these checklists are complete. So that can be a really nice way to be able to see, how well people are doing on these checklists, what still needs to be done. And these are going to be checklists from around different projects. So if we wanted to see, progress on, a group of projects and how far checklists are, we can go ahead and click into those. You'll notice these are some of the ones that I built out today in that checklist field. All right, I know that's a ton of information. So feel free to ask questions in the Q&A. We'll do some follow-ups with you guys as well.